We are off on our 2023 Montana Backcountry Expedition, winter expedition. We're headed out into the mountains. We just left the trailhead. Got our Polk sled on. This is my first trip ever winter expeditioning with a Polk sled, and I don't know how far I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be honest. That sled is heavy. I probably have way too much stuff packed that I don't need, including quite a bit of water. All the food is in my pack. But all my tent and camping supplies are in the sled, which would include sleeping bags, underquilts, hammocks, table, chairs. There's a lot of gear in there, and it's fairly heavy, like surprisingly heavy, and not pulling as well as I thought it would on the snow. So we'll see. My goal is to get a couple miles back. Got the snowshoes on there for now. I'm on a pretty packed down trail, so stay tuned. It's high country and we're headed into the high country. Well, we made it up the first hill, like a quarter mile from the trailhead maybe. And I've already shed some layers. Had to put on the snowshoes. They're starting to break through the snow a little bit. The trail that I'm on is pretty heavily traveled cross-country trail, cross-country ski trail, as you can probably deduce from the tracks behind me, but so far so good. The one thing I probably should have left at home were my tent poles. I don't really need them, but you kind of need them. You gotta have at least, I probably could have cut some poles to use for the sides, but they're really nice to have, especially if you get any heavy snow. So I brought them. That's like 25 pounds, I think I'm toting in this sled behind me. In total, I'm guessing the sled probably weighs about 80 pounds, 90 pounds. I was gonna throw in some firewood, but opted against doing that because hopefully I'll be able to cut and find plenty. But man, what a gorgeous day in Montana. Pretty hard to beat being out in the winter. Temperatures are, I think, about 29 when I left the truck, so 29, 30-ish here in the snow. Man, it is beautiful. Can't wait to find a good place to get camp set up and yeah, just enjoy the weekend. Unplug, that's the goal. Unplug, tune in spiritually to the woods and the wilderness. It's March 3rd today, and Lent started about a week ago, and this is going to be one of my yearly traditions from now on, is to take the first weekend of Lent that I can and really try to unplug from the world, get out and spiritually reset from all of the stress of the real world. Great way to get some physical exercise in. I hammered my body yesterday in the gym. Did a heavy leg day, and I'm kind of regretting that decision right now because this is a workout, but I love it. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go. Yeah, baby. We are still trucking along. Conditions have changed a little bit. We're getting some snow. It's a blizzard ahead of me. But so far, we're right at 2 miles in. And hopefully, very soon, pretty close to where we're actually going to camp. I'm hoping. Hoping we can find a spot. I passed a place down the trail about a half mile back that might have had some potential, but I'm hoping this will be a good spot up here. So, yeah, good stuff. Gotta adventure, man. Gotta get out. Gotta do this stuff. Might have to cover my coat here in a minute. Cheerio. All right, guys. Epic. I am back in this really sweet spot. I left my Polk sled and all my gear up on the ridge because I didn't want to tow it down in here if I wasn't going to be able to find a place to camp, which I still haven't found a place to camp yet, but it's looking promising. There's some pretty cool stuff back in here. Snow is like, it's just a total winter wonderland, and nobody's been back in here but me. So I don't know. We're gonna go and grab our gear, tow it down in here, and find a place to set up camp. But man, it's just so exhilarating to get out here in the wilderness of Montana. And there's literally like 5 feet of snow right here. And just be one with nature. It's fantastic. So, all right, I'll tune in as soon as we go get our sled and find a place to camp. Hey guys, we have finally found and made it to a camping spot. It went a lot farther than I had anticipated, but I found a pretty good spot. You might be able to hear the wind, and it is super windy, but I found a nice little flat spot down in here. I think I'm gonna camp, at least put my tent like right in here, and it's gonna be awesome. It is so gorgeous back here. I'm 3.3 miles from the truck, so nobody's back here. It's gorgeous, the snow's deep. I'm in a winter wonderland. Got to start setting up camp. So we're gonna do a little time lapse for you maybe while we set up camp. And I just gotta figure out which trees I'm gonna tie off to, but man, exhilarating and also an incredible workout. I've been working out my hip flexors and my glutes and my hamstrings all winter, getting ready for bear season. And that was a grind. I'm gonna be feeling that tomorrow. So I'm glad I'm sleeping in a hammock tonight. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. All right, we got the tent set up. Give you a little tour here, what we got going on. Got some lines buried. Got our poles, holding her up. As heavy as the poles were, I'm really glad that I brought them. It really just helps set this guy up. This actually needs to probably be moved. But we'll have our pretty nice little setup here. I just used a stick on these middle ones. I'm gonna have to go back and adjust that one stake, but there she is. The hammock's hung up here. Just a minute. This is all the room we've got in here. Pretty awesome. Smells like campfire in here. I'm gonna put the stove over in that corner. And hopefully we got enough hammock strap to hang up my hammocks. All right, guys. We got it all set up. The tent is set up. And got the hammock set up. Got the fireplace, stove, wood stove set up, the titanium stove. Let's go inside and take a peek. Get it zipped up here so you guys can see inside. But this is it. Got my titanium stove set up there. Got my hammock with underquilt. And I don't have my, let's go over here. I don't have my ground tarp set up yet. So I'm gonna go start cutting some firewood and get some wood ready to go for the evening. And then we'll set up the ground tarp and chair, table and all that stuff. But I'm in the one Tigris. I can't even remember what the model of this tent is, but it's a hammock tent, hot tent. And I'm 6'5", and this is me standing up completely straight. So my head's hitting it. There's a little bit of snow hitting tonight. I've been in this tent before with heavy snow loads. I'm hoping that doesn't happen tonight because it's kind of hard to stake this down in the snow. To be honest, I have never really staked down a tent before in like 3 feet of snow, 4 feet of snow. So as you can see, it's snowing. I hope it doesn't get a ton of snow here tonight. Probably just have to brush it off throughout the night if we do, so it doesn't collapse. But I'm gonna start cutting some firewood because it is almost 3 o'clock and I want to get some firewood going so that we've got plenty for the night and for the morning as well. And I've got to bury a couple of the corners of the tents real quick, and that's about it. So yeah, pretty awesome, pretty stoked. Like I said, I'm 3.3 miles from the trailhead back into the Montana wilderness, and it's awesome, totally awesome. So can't wait to get a fire built and do some reading and do some relaxing and just chill out. It's gonna be epic. Pretty epic, guys. I mean, it is just awesome. We gotta climb this nasty little snowbank here, and it's a little harder than I thought it was gonna be. Man, wait till you see this view behind me. It's pretty epic. Ah, yeah. guys, we made it through the night. It was a pretty nice night, actually. No wind. Temperatures never really got crazy cold. I survived through the night, obviously, but I would guess temperatures probably got down into the maybe mid-teens. I don't have a fancy thermometer on me. My fancy thermometer is, yep, it's about 14 degrees. It's chilly, but it's not cold. You can see my breath a little bit. Got the fire going. Got some breakfast going. Got some chai tea warming up right now. I'm living the high life. It's kind of a long night, just that, you know, I had to restoke the fire probably every 2 or 3 hours. I fell asleep for like 4 hours, and at 4:30 this morning it was completely out. So I actually had to get up and go pee. So I rebuilt the fire anyway and got it going. And yeah, it's warm and toasty in here. I never got cold last night. I got chilled a couple of times when the fire died down. But then I threw my other little extra puffy blanket over me, and that's probably why I fell asleep for like 4.5 hours, because I didn't get cold enough to realize that the fire was out. So otherwise, it was a beautiful morning. Got to go out and see a little bit of the sunrise through the trees. I'm not in a meadow or anything like that, so kind of tucked back here a little ways. But yeah, it was awesome. Making some breakfast. Got some breakfast skillet warming up right now in the bowl. And then, like I said, gonna eat and then probably go for a little snowshoe mid-morning after I do some reading. Spend the day cutting some more firewood. I'll flip the camera around. We didn't really burn through a lot of firewood last night. Not as much as I expected, but definitely need to restack it. My snow is melting like crazy underneath my stove, which I anticipated would happen. I threw in a piece of metal, piece of sheet metal in my truck to put under the stove, and I left it in the back of my truck. So that didn't do me a whole lot of good. I'm not sure that it would have worked that well anyway, so I definitely got to figure out something to put under the stove, especially when I'm camping in deep snow. So I'm over and out. Gonna eat some breakfast. Apparently I got stuff on my nose. Maybe I got cut last night. I don't know, it's a tree branch, but anyway, peace. All right, good morning, guys. We are headed out for a little nature hike this morning, and hopefully do a little loop in the snowshoes this morning. We're headed back out kind of the way we came in, and then we're gonna hit this ridge, make a big loop, probably come back into camp totally bushwhacking. That's the plan. So a lot of moose tracks down in here. Kind of cool to find Mr. or Mrs. Moose back in here. They should be shedding right about now, actually, which would be pretty cool to stumble on some moose sheds, wouldn't it? So anyway, we're gonna have some pretty epic scenery. It's a beautiful bluebird day, so it's gonna be gorgeous once we get up on top up there. And you'll get to see kind of where we're at. Unreal. Welcome to Montana. guys ready for this? Unreal. Oh, yeah, check that out. Isn't that just insane? Man, what amazing beauty. Unreal. Just love it. Tell me God doesn't exist. Or tell me God exists without telling me God exists. Wow. What an unbelievable day. So lucky to be back here in this place. You hear that? Nothing. It's amazing. No planes, no trains, no automobiles. Just your soul and the wild. And I'm so thankful to be back here enjoying this amazing country. The snow's deep. Thankfully, I'm not falling in too far with the snowshoes this morning. I've got about another quarter-mile hike or so up this canyon back to camp. And then we're going to cut some more firewood for this evening and do some camp preparation. But man, what a truly blessed day. For those of you that may be watching this, and I don't know what your background is, where you come from, what your values are, but I will tell you this. I spent 96 days off of social media, and I did that for a couple of different reasons. Primarily just to reset my soul and my brain and just get right with God. Social media can be a blessing, and there's a lot of things that are great about social media, but there's a lot of bad stuff about social media as well. Today is, I think it's March 4th. I don't even know. That's how amazing it is. It's great. And Lent started a week ago. And I don't know what your religious background is, and I'm not here to preach to you to become a Christian or to find God in your life. But I will tell you that no matter what your background is, you need to unplug. And it's mind-altering, it's soul-refreshing, and it really brings us back to our roots when we can come out to a place like this without social media, without our cell phones. And yes, I'm videoing this, but I'm videoing this journey to share with you kind of why I decided to take this winter expedition. And it's really just to unplug and to reconnect with God and spiritually just recharge. 96 days off of social media was amazing. It was hard at first, to be honest, for sure. There was days I wanted to get back on and scroll through and see what my friends were up to and, share some of my daily posts. But I realized very quickly, probably within a month, that I didn't really miss it or need it or want to go back to it. Recently, I posted my spring bear hunt video on my Instagram channel and on my YouTube channel. And that was kind of my reintroduction back into Instagram. But I think I'm going to stay off of it for the most part and kind of share some of those adventures like this with you guys. But I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Again, I don't know whether you're religious or not, but the Bible talks about Jesus going into the wilderness for 40 days to pray. And that starts the beginning of Lent. And a lot of people will give up things for Lent. Sometimes, in my opinion, inconsequential things like sugars and candy and, donuts and, those kind of things. Maybe alcohol, or maybe even sex, or maybe other things that may be not so inconsequential. But I want to challenge you to do this as well. Not because you're religious, maybe, but maybe just because you need to recharge. Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days to recharge and to connect with God and to pray a lot. And that's what I'm here to do too. I wish I was here for 40 days, but I won't be. Unfortunately, I only get 3. But it's important for us to unplug, and it's also important for us to take some time to identify the things in our life that may be leading you to sin or causing you to sin, or maybe just are not good things, healthy things in your life. Again, I'm not here to tell you to become a Christian today. I'm here to share this experience with you, and I really hope, if anything, that you'll understand how important it is that you do that for yourself. for me, in trying to decide, what things I'm going to give up for Lent, I just did social media for 96 days, and I think I'm going to continue that. But some people will give up alcohol, and I absolutely encourage anyone that maybe uses alcohol more than they should, or heck, I don't really drink that much, maybe a cocktail or two on the weekends, but it is something I'm going to give up for Lent. I don't have a problem with it, I don't feel like, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of other people out there that walk that life. And I just want you to try to identify the things in your life that maybe you should give up, that are negative in your life, that are not impacting your relationships in a positive way, whether that's alcohol, or maybe you're divorced, maybe you're single and you're having unfulfilling sexual relationships with a different partner every week or month, or maybe more, I don't know. But that's not healthy either. So I would encourage you to really identify the things that you need to give up in your lifetime. Maybe it's pornography, maybe it's masturbation, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it is chocolates. But the one thing I'll tell you about why I gave up social media in particular was because of I don't want to necessarily call it propaganda, but it is. The propaganda that's being thrown at you. I have always been a Christian my whole life. My faith has varied up and down. It's had its valleys and it's had its peaks. But I will tell you that in the last 3-4 months, my relationship with God and my relationship with those around me have, I feel, increased dramatically because of me breaking ties with social media. For me, I found that, especially in October's when I quit Instagram, I found that I was getting really jealous of other people's everything, like their possessions, their trucks, their cars, their houses, their lifestyle, their fancy new mountain bikes, their gigantic trophy elk that they shot, or mule deer, or adventure that they were on. And it just really put me in a bad place mentally and spiritually. I don't want to say like I was depressed or anything. I wasn't, but it just makes you yearn and want those things and feel bad that you don't have them. And you don't count the blessings that you do have. And not only that, but there is a lot of inappropriate content on social media. I don't care how much you try to delete it, block it, filter it out. I was constantly, daily getting stuff in my feed of, women that are half dressed, half naked. And I don't need to see that. It just poisons your mind. It poisons your brain. And it also poisons your relationships, because, you look at people's lives on social media and you don't see the background. We all know this. We know that the things you see on social media really aren't necessarily what's real, what the truth is. You see these people that have these perfect relationships. They live in these perfect beach houses, and that's not real life. And so it sets you up for unrealistic expectations of what your own relationships should be. Yeah, have you seen those people in your feeds, in your posts, that post a meme about relationships, and you're like, yeah, that resonates. I wish I could find somebody like that. Those people don't exist. And that propaganda is really changing the way you think about relationships and people in your relationships. And so, again, I'm just encouraging you, take a break from it, unplug. It's not healthy, and you probably don't even realize how much it's affecting you. For those of you that aren't on social media very often, good on you. I can tell you that my relationships have changed drastically. I have so much more enjoyment and fulfillment in life and doing things like this. Like, I am on cloud 9 today. It is like, it's so amazing. I am so fulfilled right now that I can't even explain it. And I want the same for you. I want the same for you guys. And I know this is a really long post. And I don't know whether I'll include it with my Backcountry Expedition video or not, but I just wanted to share that with you. Take the time to unplug. I have a lot of people in my life that I love and care about, and I pray for them, and I wish they would take the time sometimes like this to just get back to their roots and unplug from the unhealthy things in their life that maybe they haven't even thought about are unhealthy. So I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my hike out of here. But thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. And, if you've had a similar experience or you're thinking about doing something like this, reach out to me, message me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about anything. Whether you need advice on what gear to take, what not to take, what to try out, what food, or just spiritually, if you want to reach out and say, hey man, I need some help too. That's what we're here for. We're brothers in arms, no matter what. So thank you guys for following. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button, please. And thanks for tuning into my channel for more great content, more gear reviews, and hopefully some great hunts coming up. Stay tuned. Well, guys, good morning. It is Sunday morning and we are loaded up. We got camp all broke down. As you can see, it's winter wonderland. It's snowing very lightly. It snowed pretty lightly all night, and a couple inch, maybe inch and a half, 2 inches overnight. So thankfully not a lot of snow, because I don't think the tent could have held a lot of snow just the way I had it staked out. But anyway, we got the Polk sled hooked up, and we are going to work our way out of here. Yesterday when I was hiking around, I found another little road that I did not know existed, and it takes us down off the mountain, off the backside, down into a canyon, and it should cut my hiking distance in half to get out of here. So looking forward to that, just because my legs are smoked. It was a good night. Stayed warm all night, kept the fire going all night, but I literally had to set an alarm clock. My carabiner came unhooked. I had to set an alarm clock on my phone or on my watch last night every 2 hours to stoke the fire. So I got to get hooked back up to my Polk sled, and we're gonna roll out of here. Well guys, we made it back to the trailhead, almost. It's 100 yards ahead. Got the Polk sled, threw my tent over the top of all my gear just to keep it, to kind of act as a tarp and waterproof it. It needs to be dried out anyway, but man, what an incredible adventure weekend. Unreal. I am just on cloud nine. It's a wrap, folks. It was awesome. Coming down out the bottom of this canyon was the perfect idea. It cut the distance in half. I'm almost just shy of 2 miles almost. So beautiful, beautiful country. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And we've always got pretty good content coming out for you guys. And again, if you have any questions or comments, hit them up down below in the comment section. I'm happy to respond with gear tips or any kind of question you might have about this weekend and this trip. Questions about my Polk sled. I did have to make some modifications up there on my last video where it came unhooked. The Velcro on my pack just wasn't holding anymore, so I had to attach it in a different spot. But it actually worked pretty well. I'm gonna have to do some more modifications on it, but man, this is it. 2023 winter expedition. What a blast. Now, on to bear season. Let's go.